Hello everyone, my name is Robert with blindfoldedsite.com. Thank you so much for joining me on this intro course. We're going to go over a little bit of theory, how this is all possible. We're going to do some breathing, which is going to help us increase our bone mineral density, create antioxidants. It's going to improve our red blood cell production. It's going to increase the size of our red blood cells. All kinds of wonderful benefits. We're going to be doing a little bit of Wim Hof breathing. We're going to be doing a hopefully a theta meditation to get you down towards the Schumann resonance, so maybe you can start remote viewing on your first try, or real-time seeing. How are these things possible? Number one, matter is an illusion. Even at our most fundamental and smallest forms of matter, things are really just energy. They're not actually physical. And so another important fact, matter is an illusion. Everything is energy. Just like you, your physical body is actually spirit. This energy is spirit. This energy is chi. This energy is what you feel between your hands. This is the psychic realm. This is the energy from which all things manifest. A lot of information right there. So another key point is that all points in space and time are one. This is how remote viewing is possible. This is how you're able to look and see and smell and taste and feel anything, anywhere in the universe. And it's not just blindfolded sight. There's also earless hearing, I guess you could call it. This is an interesting thing. It's also being recognized in the blind community as blind sight, because it is a powerful thing. It's been around for, I dare say, hundreds of thousands of years, and we are only barely scratching and rediscovering this, especially over here in the West. We're pretty unfamiliar with a lot of this spiritual, esoteric stuff. But then when you start reading all these other books and you start finding out about these people that are hundreds of years old, and you start learning how manifestation really works. I do also want to talk about self-realization real quick while I've got you. So self-realization, what is it? What does it really mean? So another key and important fact about all of this is that we are God. So that's self-realization right there. And then another thing, with all points in space and time are one. So you are everything. And with our abilities, with this fact, we're constantly manifesting. Everything that comes across our mind will in some way, shape, or form affect reality. So what they found with a lot of these people who are like hundreds of years old, they're like only, think about pure loving thoughts, because when you think about negative thoughts or greedy thoughts, you end up creating age, and joyous thoughts and compassionate thoughts end up creating youth. So that was one of the teachings. And this big thing about manifesting is with the self-realization, they're like, what you worship is what you become, and they're like, has not the child what the father has. And these people are like walking on water. They're manifesting food for months on end. For these American scientists on an expedition, they're like, went over to discover what they had read about, and they found a lot more than they realized. They're like, holy crap. They even met Jesus. And that's a crazy thing. These books are part of the homework that I offer, because they're really enlightening and they're really powerful. If you're interested, they are called The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East. There's 5 books. They're written by Baird T. Spalding, and they are incredibly good, because he goes over with a group of American scientists in like 1885, and they find they're being teleported. They're going to the mountain temples that you've heard over, I think it's in China, where they're like floating super high up in the mountains, almost floating. It feels like they're floating apparently, where these levitating monks are, and they're just learning all the secrets of life. And so that's one of the things I want you to definitely pay attention to and read and listen to on YouTube, because it's very enlightening. And when you believe you can, and you focus on it, you effectively change reality. Like we found just by observing, we affect and we change reality. So have positive, good intentions, loving, emotions, and everything will find balance and work out. But we also have to find balance in our lives. We can't be doing negative things, because it, in one way they say it comes back to you like fourfold or something. There's a lot in the books. They speak a lot about it. It's really good. I think we're going to start with some Wim Hof breathing. If you've never done it, it improves he's able to synchronize his brain, get it to work together. On the EEG found that the entire thing lit up, and he was able to, a lot of people are like, oh, are we able to use 100% of our brain? It's like, yeah, we're able to use 100% of our brain. You just have to learn how. And I think a lot of these things have to do with like athletes and getting in the flow and like spiking some gamma brain waves when you solve a problem, or when you bite into an apple. There's so much more to it. We'll talk about meditation. We'll learn about, I've got some other stuff that I recommend for helping you so you can move from alpha to theta, and hopefully, maybe later on that'll help you with your astral projection stuff. I haven't done any course on that, but once I get to it and learn more, I've learned a lot already, but I've got to find practical means and effective methods that I can share. But I understand the theory and what, these people, like I said in these books, they're like making second bodies. It's like astral projection perfected. And even at the Monroe Institute, he referenced being able to astral project, go out and touch people, and they were able to like physically feel him. But he just must have been still with the training wheels, and what these masters have done and what they're able to do is unreal. We have to realize that we can, and we can achieve those things in order to allow it. That's an important thing. I'm going to talk about our subconscious here, because your subconscious is going to be your biggest enemy, and yet it's also your greatest ally. You just have to work with it and become the master of it, rather than it being the master of you. You gotta master your impulses. You gotta master, become good and loving if you want to do what these other masters of the book are teaching. But in my courses, I'm just going to specifically work with blindfolded sight. But all of this stuff, working with energy and developing your energy sensing capabilities and being able to see, like, those are the first steps in the psychic realms, like what this energy is. Like, those are the first steps to extremely great potential. But you'll read about that. We'll get into more things regarding that and energy. The subconscious, want to mention before we do the breathing, it's going to be, like I said, everything, the longer you hold a belief, the harder it's going to be to change. So the more your subconscious, if it's a battle between your subconscious and your conscious mind, the subconscious will always win. So you need to work with your subconscious. There's a thing when you talk about being super conscious, when they truly master their subconscious and they master transitioning through these brainwave states and moving through their mind, that they're able to get a super conscious state where they have control of their subconscious and their normal conscious, which allows them to, if you've seen Guy Bavely or other people, he's a cool guy on stage who's like stopped his heart. You can change physiological things. Wim Hof, he's changing his temperature and maintaining a solid temperature, while other people would go into hypothermia and even increasing his temperature. A lot of crazy stuff. We have more control, more ability over. We have to master our body, we have to master our mind, and we have to master our spirit, which is energy. And when you master these three things, then you can slowly transition towards much higher realms. First, we're going to start with Wim Hof breathing again. I'm just going to do one round. You want to do 5 rounds. This is just an intro course. But this improves our nervous system, finds brain synchronicity, allows for more access to more functions, increase our blood supply, all this other stuff I mentioned. So we're going to do 1 round, 1 set real quick here. You're going to do about 30 breaths in, and then on that 30th breath you're going to exhale, and we're going to try to hold it for 1.5 minutes. Are you ready? Okay, and let's go. about 10 breaths. Your body may be getting tingly. You're going to be noticing your blood change. That's totally okay. We're accessing all these deeper functions of our body, and we're making physiological changes. So keep with it, and let's do the work. Totally off. I'm getting pretty energized. I was already doing this earlier. But you exhale and hold. So your blood is full of oxygen. You don't need to breathe. By doing these rapid hyperventilating movements, our blood doesn't necessarily put the oxygen in our muscles as much, but it stores it and it holds on to it. And it creates all these other physiological changes. It's saying like, hey, turn on these other functions, survival functions, let's ramp the body up, let's start adapting to CO2. Helps with all kinds of functions. This is very important for building our body, mastering our body. Along with mastering our body comes with, again, the trying to be only in positive emotions, loving everyone, loving your enemy. Forgiveness is key, because love is the law of the universe. Anything that works outside of love will slowly start to self-destruct. The only reason that everything works is because it works together. So when you can, when you have to, go ahead and inhale. Go ahead and press that air deep into your head, moving this energy with other things, with Kundalini movements. We'll start learning about our energy centers, moving stored energy from our survival centers up into our higher centers. Our lower centers are more like physical realm centers, and we're bringing it up to our higher centers, which are more spiritual realm centers. Again, that spectrum of matter versus consciousness, and we're trying to keep either one foot in both or put both feet in the spiritual, where we can do incredible things. So when you have to, go ahead and breathe normally. Great job with that first little breath movement. We're going to do a meditation and hopefully get you seeing some colors. Now that breath also is really good. Do at least 5 sets so you can get your whole body vibrating, and you want to be aware of things. Like what your awareness is being aware of sensations. When we do energy moving and the pressure, that's almost what you want to be aware of, but all over your entire body. Your entire body, your entire nervous system picks up energies, and we need to tune in to start building them. And we also need to start working on our energy. This is a lot of where intuition comes from. Being able to tap into this field of infinity, this infinite field of all. This is referenced, where the Akashic records are, where all knowledge is kept and stored. But we are infinite beings, and we are super amazing and far greater than we believe. All we have to do is know it and pursue it, and we will achieve it. Because you are great, and you manifest what you want. So focus on good things. Focus on youth, vitalization, and that's what you'll get. And slowly the negative things will go away. Don't keep your mind on pain or greed, because those will create age and will lead to other things. But those are the teachings, as well as a lot of other people. I bring a lot of knowledge together from different sources. Now that we've done a little bit of breathing, what I want you to do is see if you can put your hands together. See if you feel that energy moving. Now that we've got our vasodilation going, our blood is pumping, energy is moving freely. And take deep breaths. opposite of the breathing quickly, when we take deep breaths, it puts a lot more oxygen into our muscles. So if you take deep breaths, you may find the sensation increasing. Or with different forms of yogic breathing, you can put pauses in between those breaths. Inhale and hold. Be aware. This is awareness. And exhale. Hold. And breathe just as deeply as you can, as slowly as you can. Just notice the sensation. This is the energy that we are working with, the energy that all things manifest from. The basis of all forms, of all four elements. Master this energy, master the elements. A lot of ancient knowledge and wisdom that we need to bring to the modern times. And we need to change the world. Because you are far greater than you imagine.